Let's get it, let's get it. You now tuned in to PostWork with the biggest and my partner, the Reverend. How you living, gangster?
What's good, my boy?
Yes, sir. You feel me? Not, a little under the weather, but you feel me? What can you do about it? It's that time of year. Just make sure you're healthy as can be and keep it pushing.
Yep, I feel that.
How you been, my brother?
Blessed. How you been?
Shit, I'm great. Look, we're gonna start this off kicking right into the game. The Washington Commanders, aka the Redskins, go into Detroit and take out the Lions 45-31. Jaden Daniels threw for 299, 2 touchdowns, ran for 51 yards. Jared Goff had 3 interceptions and a lost fumble. Thoughts?
That boy Jaden is the next guy up, basically. If the man make it to the Super Bowl his first year, that's crazy. Jared Goff, that's why the Rams traded you, because you can put all the weapons around him, and he's still not going to win with what he got. Like, you can put monster rosters, you know what I'm saying, around him, and he's still not going to win the big games. That's always been his problem. I don't even know what to say for real, because that man, Jared Goff, he just a disappointment sometimes. He played great in the regular season. He had his moments where he plays terrible, but he still played good in the regular season. Took his team to a great season, and then you fall short in the playoffs.
It's impressive for Jaden Daniels. Impressive. Jaden Daniels is definitely him. You said he got next, but you better tell your boys to be on the lookout before he have now. You feel what I'm saying? So
he already the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Well, you know what I'm saying. He can be the best quarterback in the East, but if you still going to the Super Bowl, you feel what I'm saying? We worry about that in the future. You feel what I'm saying? Because we still had enough to get by you and get to the bowl. So
yep. So
you feel me? But Jared Goff lost the Lions that game. They can say it how they want to say it. He was terrible. He was a turnover machine. He was fumbling, throwing picks. You're right. He showed exactly why McVay said, I can't win with you and give me Stafford.
Yep. They got to get rid of him. It's only right.
Like so. And the Lions are stacked, and I do think injuries hurt their defense. I still don't believe though that Jared Goff is the guy that's gonna win you a Super Bowl.
No.
So if Detroit, if you want that Super Bowl, you're gonna have to upgrade that spot. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. Gibbs is a beast.
Roll Tide.
A animal. St. Brown, animal.
Him.
Jamison Williams, electric speed. Now, another thing. Ben Johnson, I give credit to you for becoming the Bears' new head coach. And for most of the season, you have been a great offensive coordinator. I have no idea why you had Jamison Williams throwing a pass, though, down 14 points trying to come back. That was wild. Like, that's wild. I don't know what was going on there. Don't ever do that now as a head coach or they gonna want your job. I'm just letting you know up front. Robinson for the Redskins. Real nice game. 70-some yards. 2 touchdowns. Scary Terry doing Scary Terry-like things. Dame Brown, who then came on electric. I thought the Redskins played well. They impressed me. And I thought the Lions played pretty well outside, again, Jared Goff and then, some of their defense, of course. But Jared Goff lost him that game.
He's had a knack for turning the ball over there all season. He had one game where he turned the ball over like 4 or 5 times. Like,
against the Texans, they just happened to win, so you know. But what Uncle Shay say, don't accept nothing in a win that you wouldn't in a loss. So
yeah, it's ugly.
now, the team that they will be doing battle with this week at 3:30, the Philadelphia Eagles held on in a snowstorm, a blizzard, 28-22, behind 128 passing yards on 20 attempts, with 7 sacks for Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley had 26 carries for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, Hurts did have 70 yards on the ground with a touchdown as well. What are your thoughts? A.J. Brown only 2 catches for 14 yards. Devontae 4 for 21. Goddard showed up big in the passing game. He had 4 catches for 56 yards. Saquon also contributed 4 catches, 21 yards. What are your thoughts on the game?
We should have scored more. You know what I'm saying? I'm disappointed my Eagles didn't put up 40 that game, but AJ had some drops. He dropped a touchdown. He dropped a few passes. You know, I felt like Devontae played pretty well with the opportunities they gave him. Goddard was doing his thing.
Yeah.
You know, Saquon do what he do. The O-line played. I feel like they could have played better with the pass protection, but I also feel like it was a lot of Jalen Hurts' fault too, because he wasn't decisive of where he was going with the football. So you only got so long, you know, to pass the ball. So I felt like we really gave up a lot, you know what I'm saying, too much. But they got a really good defense, you know what I'm saying. They really came along the last, like, half of the season, and they really been, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing. They probably got the defensive, you know what I'm saying, rookie of the year, you know what I'm saying.
First.
So, you know what I mean, them boys definitely was in the playoffs for a reason, you know what I'm saying. So a few more plays and they could have beat us, but I feel like we got to tighten up when teams go with no huddle on us. Like, we have to find a way to, you know what I'm saying, dilute their no huddles, because when teams go no huddle and speed it up on us, they always seem to score very quick on us and move the ball downfield. But when you give us time to set our defense and figure out what we're going to do and try to figure out what you're going to do, I feel like that's when we play at our best. But we got to figure out this no huddle situation, because a lot of teams, like, you know what I'm saying, like to go fast, or they notice that. So I know if I see that, they see that. So, but I feel like this game we're going to play against the Redskins, though, is going to be a good one. And this is going to show that, you know what I'm saying, we're going to have to keep up with the passing game. I ain't going to say the passing game, but we have to keep up with the score, you know what I'm saying? So which means we're going to have to make some explosive plays in the passing game, because if they keep scoring on us and we're just, you know what I'm saying, having to run it and keep, you know what I'm saying, trying to chop it downfield, if we get behind, that could be a problem for us. So we got to make sure we get up early on them, get off to a good start. So, you know what I'm saying, we won't have to try to be in a hurry to score, because when we in a hurry to score, we make bad decisions. We don't play well. We don't play smart. So I just feel like as long as we can play from ahead, you know what I'm saying, we'll be all right.
Now, I'm going to tell you something you probably didn't know. Goddard only had 4 targets. He caught 4 passes. Saquon had 4 targets, caught 4 passes. Devontae had 4 targets, caught 4 passes. Gainwell 1 target for 1 pass. The only pass that Jalen Hurts missed was to A.J. Brown, who had 7 targets.
Yeah, because he missed them. They had a couple of them. One of them, or maybe 2 of them, were just drops. Mm-hmm. He had 2 of them where he just straight dropped it. One of them was a touchdown. Yep. The other one was just a little, you know what I'm saying, it got you some yards. But
yep.
But
then
one
across the middle.
Yeah, the one across the middle. But the one that the one that was just terrible, like they had miscommunication, is like he was throwing like an out and AB was going, you know what I'm saying, like a slant or in or something. So he was coming and the nigga was throwing it way back here. So I don't know what was going on like that. So
now Stafford threw for 324 yards and 2 touchdowns on y'all. Yeah. Kyron Williams ran 19 carries for 106 yards. Puka Nacua had 6 catches for 97 yards.
Yeah, Queen.
Y'all have this week.
I don't know. It's a good question. I think he will, but
you need him back.
Yeah, we need him back.
Cause Rodgers made your other cornerbacks look like I thought Slay was all world watching Rodgers out there. Woo.
Then he had to play where he tried to pick it off and they took it from him. You know what I'm saying? Cooper Kupp snagged on it.
You said, "Give me that."
So yeah, he just got to be more physical. You know what I'm saying? Like he got to be more physical.
Okay, so what I saw from the game was I thought y'all handled most of the game and with a better team. When they got the ball back, though, I thought they was about to score for real.
Yeah, me too.
I really did up until Jalen Carter made a play that you need your superstar defender to make.
Yep.
And he got the sack, and that kind of changed the whole possession around. So I was impressed with the Rams for them to come into Philly in a snowstorm, being from LA, be competitive, and have a real shot at winning that game. And I don't think their team is as good as y'all's, for real, for real. I was impressed with the Rams. The Rams are going to be around for a little while, you feel what I'm saying? They're going to be a tough threat every year for about the next 2-3 years at least. And they're going to be somebody you're going to have to deal with.
Yep.
You just see that now.
As long as Stafford don't want to get traded or retire,
facts.
They'll be a problem to be dealt with.
Because you lose that quarterback, you know how things go typically, unless you get somebody else in there. So, now, that leads to the prediction. Who wins this week? 3 o'clock, Fox, in Western Philadelphia. The Redskins or the Eagles?
I'm going with my boys. I can't pick the opposition over us. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know it's going to be a good game, I hope we can, you know what I'm saying, my boy Jalen break his arm, you know what I'm saying, his lunch pail, because he's going to have to go to work, you know what I'm saying? So, we're going to see. Because I feel like as long as we can, because the way we run the ball, we always got a chance, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But as long as we got to get off to a good start early, we don't need to be coming from behind. We need to put pressure on Jaden, keep him in the pocket, don't let him get outside the pocket. Because if you let him get outside the pocket, he's going to start doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, ooh. So, we don't need that.
You don't need it.
We don't need that.
The spread is -6. Do y'all win by more than 6?
Yeah, I'm going with it. I'm going with it. I'm going with it.
I got y'all winning. Close game. I think it's gonna be like 27-20, 31-24 type. Philadelphia goes to the Super Bowl. I think Saquon runs for about $150. 2 more touchdowns this week.
Super Bowl.
Don't get all hype. I know you're going to be hyped because you're there, but you feel me?
You got to get there first.
You do. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm just letting you know, don't get too hyped. We don't get too hyped to me quite yet. So, now on the other side of the bracket, the AFC, the Chiefs took out the Texans 23-14. C.J. Stroud threw for 245, no touchdowns, no picks, was sacked 8 times. He ran for 42 yards. Mixon had 88 yards and a touchdown. Nico had 5 catches for 81 yards. Mahomes, 16 of 25, 177 yards, a touchdown, no picks, 14 yards on the ground. Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. What's your thoughts?
Well, that game was better than I expected it to be.
I agree.
I expected the Texans to not show up, you know what I'm saying? But they definitely showed up, had chances to win the game. But Patrick Mahomes and a little bit of help with the refs. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. With a little bit of help with the refs, them boys when they got it done, you know what I'm saying? So
Definitely some questionable calls.
a whole lot of questionable calls.
Well, past questionable, some wrong calls.
You know what I'm saying?
We're
So,
gonna keep it a band.
Yeah, they definitely did them boys dirty. You know what I'm saying? But when you 3-time Super Bowl champion, you gonna get them calls. He played in the system.
Yeah, and to me, the Texans showed me a lot. I didn't expect them to be that close either. I was impressed by how they fought. I do believe even without those calls, they still lose that game. But I think it's probably a one possession game rather than kind of being over at the end.
Yeah.
I kind of thought the Chiefs kind of had the lead and kind of was, kind of not really taking too many chances. Kind of like we just gonna kind of, don't beat ourselves and we should win this game. And that's what they did.
Yeah, that's true.
Now they 2 games away from history.
Yeah, when you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a great chance to win.
You do. Every team that won this weekend didn't have a turnover. So they give you the blueprint of what you need to do.
Because when in the playoffs, them turnovers going to cost you extra.
Yep, them turnovers pay double.
Yeah, I'm about to say, they definitely going to cost you extra.
Like, yeah, turnovers will cost you a game. Like, cost you.
Yep.
Speaking of turnovers, that leads to our next game. The Bills took out the Ravens 27-25. Lamar Jackson 18 of 25, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had 6 carries. Blessings. Blessings.
Thank you.
Double blessings. 6 carries, 39 yards. Justice Hill had 6 carries for 50 yards. Henry had 16 for 84 and a touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 4 catches, 73 yards and a touchdown. Bateman had 4 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. Andrews had 5 catches, 61 yards, and some big mishaps. Now for the Bills, Josh Allen was 16 of 22 for only 127 yards. He had 20 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns. The Bills as a team ran for 147 yards with 3 touchdowns. Shakur had 6 catches for 67 yards. What are your thoughts? Who do you blame? Well, what are your thoughts is the first question, and then after that, the question has to be answered. Was it the reason that the Ravens lost? Is it on Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews, or do you have someone else to give the blame to?
I gotta blame it on both of them. You know what I'm saying? It's not all Lamar's fault, and it's not all Mark Andrews' fault.
Man, you gotta stand on something. 51-49. Who share more of the blame?
Well, you got us in this position, you know what I'm saying, to play from behind, so I got to give more of the blame to Lamar. And the reason why I say that is because, okay, yeah, the man fumbled at the time where you drive. I think it was an 80-yard drive, 70-yard drive, maybe, whatever. He fumbles, kills your momentum. Okay, then you drive him again, another 90 yards, you know what I'm saying, and boom, you feel me? He drops a 2-point conversion. I get that. But prior to that, you off rip while the game is tied, you throw a pick, you know what I'm saying, off rip. So that also, you know what I'm saying, messes up your momentum. Okay. Then you turn around and you fumble. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we all know that you make magic happen after you know what I'm saying? That's what make you 2-time MVP, you know what I'm saying? You make a lot out of nothing, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we can't look over the fact that you fumbled, you know what I'm saying? You turned the ball over. So now you down, I think you're down maybe 13 at this point, something like that. Okay, so now you're down 13, you're fighting from behind, and clearly you see these guys are scoring every time they touch the football. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard when they're scoring touchdowns and you're trying to kick field goals and play from behind and you're turning the ball over. So it's like they already don't need help scoring. And I feel like, you put your team in a bad position and you put a lot of pressure on the other guys to make up, you know what I'm saying, for what you've already done. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I got to give it a little bit more to Lamar. But the game, though, overall, though, that boy Josh Allen is bad. You know what I'm saying? He do what he need to do to win games. I feel like he playing at probably the highest level he ever played at in his career, even though he didn't have a lot of passing yards. But when you watch the film, you know what I'm saying, he's running what he needs to. You know what I'm saying? He's scoring, picking up first downs, keeping the chains moving, keeping his offense on the field, while a lot of people are keeping their defense on the field. You know what I'm saying? He's wearing them down. You know what I mean? You don't know where he gonna go with the football. Sometimes this guy don't get no catches. This guy don't get no catches. This guy get all the targets 1 week. So you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like they probably got a good chance to knock the Chiefs off. If anybody's gonna beat them, it's gonna be the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'll start off. I thought it was a good game. I thought the Bills kind of played to make the Ravens, because they kind of knew the Ravens would beat themselves, because it seemed like the Bills were extra conservative. I like the way Josh played, though. Even though he didn't have the yards and stuff, he played a good, smooth game. He did what he needed to do, got him moving. It is definitely more on Lamar Jackson, to me. Reason being.
So you giving him all the blame?
No, I give it about.
So I'm about to say, what's your percentage?
I would give him 70. I would give Mark Andrews 20. And I'm giving the offensive coordinator 10. Reason being, Derrick Henry got to get 20 touches. I don't care how we slice it, how we dice it. If he's not hurt, he got to get 20 touches.
I feel it.
And actually, scratch that. Lamar Jackson 60%, the coordinator 20%, and Mark Andrews 20%. Because I don't know how Derrick Henry don't get 20 carries. Just beats me.
That's crazy.
So that's how I would give it up percentage wise. I thought Lamar played a decent game. I mean, he was pretty good. He just won't regular season Lamar. And that's where the issue comes in, because he didn't have 2 turnovers all season. And then come the end of your season again, you have a game with 2 turnovers, just like you did last year. So that's my issue with Lamar. Mark Andrews should have called it. It was behind him and late, but he still should have called it. But I just feel like, and I think that losers do what losers do. And seems to me like Lamar and Mark Andrews were both losers, so they just took turn losing, like, typical ratbird behavior.
Okay, let me ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
Has their window closed, or how long is the window open? When I say that, for people who watch it, I'm talking about the chance to win Super Bowl.
Put it to you this way: I can't say it's officially closed as long as they have Henry. But if they don't get something before Henry leaves, judge, jury, and executioner, Minister Smith Hope, says their window is closed.
Well, I mean, you're a Pittsburgh fan, so that don't really like hold a lot of weight. A lot of people just gonna think you hate.
Hey, well, let them think what they want to think, but the time gonna show.
Okay. We'll
Do
see.
you think?
I think as long as you got that boy Lamar, you know what I'm saying, you always got a chance to win. You know what I'm saying? If he ever figure it out what it is about, you know what I'm saying, why he doesn't perform MVP like in the playoffs, you know, you know what I mean, he could probably get over the hump, but you keep turning the ball over in the playoffs, he ain't gonna never get over the hump. So if he can figure it out, maybe he still got a chance, but he, like I said, he keep turning it over. That boy gonna still be in Cancun late in the season. Cancun on 3.
Cancun! Hey, look. That boy rode right with my nigga PQ.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry.
He just went later.
Hey, he did, but he still came, and it was only a week. Won't like he was there too much long. That boy, he had one more week. You feel what I'm saying?
He got an extra check.
Now come sit your ass right here, Ro. Now, that leads into the AFC Championship game. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. Does the 3-peat continue or the 3-peat dead?
I got Buffalo over the Chiefs. I think I want them to 3-peat, but I think the way the Buffalo Bills are playing right now, it's gonna be hard to beat them. So I'm going Buffalo over the Chiefs. Who you got?
The 3-peat is dead. Buffalo goes into Kansas City, gets a win, and I think we're going to be in tune to another great Buffalo-Kansas City game that comes down to the last drive, and I believe the Bills had their hands on it. Josh Allen leads the Bills back to the Super Bowl, first time since the 90s, and Mahomes and Andy Reid and Mr. Kelsey go home. Quick question for you. We both have Bills and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I got the Bills taking it home. Who you got?
Man, we got to win the chip this time, man. We cannot go and lose again. We gotta win the chip this time. Come on, fly, Eagles, fly.
Hey, you know, I'm glad you got faith in your flying, but, you know, I got the Bills. Now, you know, we'll recap. We could be wrong, and it could actually end up being the Redskins and the Chiefs.
It could be. That'd be a good one, too.
Right, but
I feel like if the Redskins and the Chiefs, I feel like Mahomes go 3-peat. Then if he make it back to the Super Bowl, regardless if he play us or the Rams, or the Redskins, he probably go 3-peat. Cause that boy.
I agree. I got it. I think whoever win this week between the Bills and the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
Hopefully my Eagles can stop it. Put an end to it.
I got a feeling you about to have another Super Bowl L coming to either Mahomes or Josh Allen. And I know you don't want to hear it, but I'm just telling you what I think. You feel what I'm saying?
This is your time, Jalen. Jalen, this is your time. This is your time to show up.
Yeah, because he can rewrite the wrong.
Yep, he could.
Not rewrite them, but he could.
He could be show.
Right.
This is the way I'm doing it, and it's working.
Right, you feel me?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? He could put his stamp on it. You feel me? I might have screwed up before, but guess what? I might take it away, but I also give her.
You feel me? So.
Speaking of taking away and give her, the Ohio State Buckeyes brought the chip home against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish by a score of 34-23. Now, Notre Dame tried their darndest to fight back, and get in that game, win that game, however you want to say it. What are your thoughts on the game?
Okay, so now Ohio State just absolutely blew the doors off of them boys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought they was gonna do something when they scored in the first drive. I thought them boys was gonna make it a competitive game, but Ohio State kept scoring and Notre Dame couldn't. It left the boy Jeremiah wide open. You know what I'm saying? He walked in for a touchdown. Then, you know, at the end of the game, he makes a crazy play and bomb. You know what I'm saying? To seal the comeback. Like, no, y'all not coming back. It's over with. Stick a fork in y'all boys. Like, the way that boy Junkins was running that pill. You know what I'm saying? The way that boy Howard was like 14 or 14 or something like that before he threw a incomplete pass, or maybe he was more than that. I just feel like that $20 million roster paid off for them boys. Them boys had all the headhunters. They, you know what I'm saying, they lost to Michigan. You know what I mean? The last 3 or 4 games them boys had played after that up until the, you know what I'm saying, championship. Really after they lost from Michigan to the championship, them boys was playing angry. Like, you know what I'm saying, them boys was upset. Them boys was mad and felt embarrassed that they went and got that chip. So, them boys, and then, shout out, he was at Michigan, went to Ohio State, so he back to back, you know what I mean, he back to back chipped up, which is clutch, you know what I'm saying, so, I just,
you know, we loving that.
Yeah, it was still, I still feel like it was good for Notre Dame, though, because you still got a lot of money for winning the last game, which they get like $20 million for the school, you know what I'm saying, so it's like, that's a good thing.
And they did better than most people thought.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good of Notre Dame. They definitely didn't have the talent of Ohio State. That was clearly evident. Marcus Freeman is a great coach, though. Like, you know, he get the best out of Notre Dame all the time. They play hard, they disciplined, and I can't stand them. I hate them more than anybody, for real. But Marcus Freeman is a good coach. Riley Leonard surprised me throwing the peel the other night. Like, that was the best I done seen Riley throwing the peel. So then, as far as Ohio State, you know, the one thing I don't understand is how Jeremiah Smith was 1-on-1 to end the game. That was like stealing. That's a bad boy. A bad boy.
Yeah, man, so that's like stealing.
It is. Jeremiah 1-on-1 to end the game too?
They play a lot of man-to-man, though.
I know. But you better have safety help over that boy at that moment.
Hey, they felt like they didn't need a lot of it.
Hey, and you see what happened. You feel the 60 yards later.
Yeah.
That's a bad boy.
Yeah, that boy's tough.
To me, like you said, I think the Michigan thing is actually going to be one of the best things that happened to Ohio State. Because I think now they're not going to allow, they're not going to not play the way they need to play, the way that they've been doing, because they by far had the best roster this year. So, to me, as long as they keep this Ohio State going and keep it going the same way for next year, them boys gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Like real hard.
Yeah. They're gonna have to put some more money into their roster.
Yeah, of course. You know how that portal works. So that way, yeah, like, and Ryan Day, that was big, because if you had lost to Tennessee in that first game, you was probably about to be forced out of Ohio State. And now you went from that to where they love you. Now you just got to make sure that you either keep winning chips or actually start beating Michigan, and you'll be good.
Yeah, true.
You feel what I'm saying? Because you can't lose to Michigan and not be winning chips, and them people in Ohio State not want your head. You got to do one or the other.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
And sometimes both. You feel what I'm saying? So
you definitely bailed yourself out there winning the chip.
Yep. And You know, back when it went to a 4-team playoff, Ohio State was the first team to win it. Now that it went to a 12-team playoff, Ohio State was the first team to win it.
It's tough.
Now, you know, I recall back a few weeks ago, you said, is Cam Scatterboo a top 5 running back in college football? My answer to that to you, the number 1 running back in all of college football this year, Ashton Genty. The number 2 running back in all of football this year, North Carolina's own Omarion Hampton. The 3rd best running back this year, Dylan Sampson, Tennessee. The 4th best running back this year, Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State. And at number 5, this was very tough for me. If Trayvon Henderson had played the regular season the way he played the playoff game, he would probably be my 3rd or 2nd best back. But he didn't play like that for most of the year. Therefore, I had to go with number 5, Bo Scatterbo.
I believe it.
And I'll also give shout out to Jeremiah Love. He went crazy from Notre Dame this year. He was one of my possibilities. Nicholas Singleton from Penn State. He's crazy. Caleb Johnson from Iowa had a great year. And Rutgers running back Managi, I think, or Managi, whatever his name is, Rutgers running back also had a good year.
Ooh, no Ollie Gordon in your list from Oklahoma State?
Okay, he got the talent, but he ain't have... I tried to make sure that all the people actually had their productive years, and to me, he didn't have as good of a year this year as he had last year, but Ollie Gordon definitely has that talent. Like, and this is going to be one of the deepest running back classes to go to the NFL in a minute. Because I think he got a chance to be nice for somebody in the league.
Yeah.
Like, real talk. Because he's smooth. He can do it all. He can kind of catch a little bit. He can run. I think Ollie going to be even better in the pros. Blessings. Double blessings. Because he going to actually have more weapons. Because part of the reason that he didn't have as good of a year was because OK State, one of the worst teams we talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They are. You know what I mean? Not that great.
So,
they have a great year.
Right. So, and I think a lot of that, you know, factors into it. When you don't have a good line, you don't really have a good quarterback. You know, he's decent, but and you couldn't stop a Cole. So, you know, that was me telling you I'd get back to you. You know, the biggest is a man of his word, so I had to get back.
I feel that.
What did you think about my top 5 list?
I ain't bad. You know, you can't argue with none of those guys. Those guys had great years. You know what I'm saying? You got some dogs on that list. So I'm cool with it.
Hey, that's stout. Look, that's a PostWork stamp right there. You feel? We both.
Won't bad.
He came to it. He agreed with me, or at least said I won't absurd. Yeah. He ain't fully agree and say that was it, but he ain't say I was tripping. So I think we take that as a win, people.
Not bad.
You feel me? Now, I heard that you got some things that you would like to bring to PostWork, so you can take over now.
But I do want to ask you, you know what I'm saying, they Mike Vrabel went to the Patriots. I want to ask you about how long you think, you know, it's going to take the Patriots to turn it around.
2 years. I think this year they'll be much better. They'll be like 6, 7, 8 wins because I think they're going to draft some people and sign some free agents because they had the most cap room. So I say not this season, but by the next season, I think they'll actually be either in the playoffs or at least contending for the playoffs.
Okay.
What about you?
I think it's going to take about 4 to 5 years. I feel like it's gonna take them a while to build the roster back up.
Oh, do you mean to actually compete for the playoffs, or you mean to be like a threat again?
Both. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna take about 4 or 5 years because I feel like you got a lot of young guys on the roster. The roster is very young. Unless you're gonna get rid of all them young guys, unless they take a huge step in development, which we've known the Patriots to develop their players, but you also don't have the Belichick's. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those guys anymore. So I guess I'm just gonna have to see. But I'm giving about 4 to 5 years before they're competitive. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they'll probably have the top 5 pick, probably not next year, but maybe the year after that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe next year too. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who they pick. So I just feel like the Patriots are a long ways away. Okay, and now the Jets got Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator from the Lions.
Yep.
How fast do you feel like he could get the Jets into the playoffs? And remind you that the Jets hire another defensive genius. You know what I'm saying? Which the last maybe 4 or 5 head coaches have been defensive guys. So
look, I'm gonna tell you like this: the Jets Aaron Glenn's only hope is somehow they bring back Aaron Rodgers and he has a resurgence to the old Aaron Rodgers, because outside of that, Aaron Glenn ain't gonna have a quarterback. They probably still gonna be decent enough to where it'll be hard for him to get a top quarterback next year. And then I don't really see it now. If they can't get A-Rod to have a resurgence, his best chance is for them to kind of suck next year, but to still play hard so he can keep his job. They can get one of the top quarterbacks, then he can possibly bring them back. But other than that, I don't know when the Jets might be back. It might be 2, 3, 4 more coaches, because I don't really see the path.
Yeah.
You see what I'm? That's my issue. I don't really see their pathway unless maybe they get lucky and strike gold on somebody in the draft that nobody really see, or kind of somebody that's not really is heard of, and he end up blossoming and bam. But outside of that, the future looks bleak for the Jets, yo.
Yeah, I agree, yo. I don't know when them boys ever gonna get it right, if they ever gonna get it back right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it really just starts with the owner and stuff like.
Yep.
It starts with all of that type of stuff. So, because Saleh wasn't a bad, coach. He just, he had really no quarterback. So, but I'm gonna give him another 10 years probably.
That's what I'm thinking. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him another 10 years. But I want to ask you about athletes. You know what I'm saying? This is like the one thing I just wanted to ask you about.
Oh, hold on. One thing before you go there. Ben Johnson, also new coach of the Bears. Do you think he turns around the Bears this upcoming season, or how long do you think that takes?
I'm gonna say this year they get 500.
So they get basically somewhere around 8, 9 wins.
I'm gonna say they get 8, 9 wins.
Is that gonna be enough for a playoff spot next year?
No.
Not in that quick, didn't you?
Not in the division they did. But not when you play the Detroit Lions twice, the Vikings twice,
and the
Packers twice. Now we don't know what the Lions are gonna be because they just lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. So we still gotta see. The jury is still out on those guys because. You know what I'm saying? You got to see who's going to be back. They're going to probably make some roster changes. Mm-hmm. Some guys are probably going to leave. So the jury's still out on those guys. But that still leaves the Vikings and the Packers. You know what I'm saying? So still 2 guys that got young quarterbacks, good teams. You know what I'm saying? Good overall team. So experienced. Well, you know what I'm saying? Especially the Packers. So, we just got to see. But I do think they'll get around 8 or 9 wins next year, because I do like the way what I'm saying, Ben Johnson conducts his offense, but it still takes time. It just doesn't. A guy's not coming in there and they're gonna just all of a sudden just be so much better than they was last year. But unless they add a lot more talent. But
Yep.
I just feel like they'll probably get around 500.
I agree. I think they get around 8 to 9 wins this year. Next year. I think the year after that will be the year they actually compete for a playoff spot. Don't know if they'll make it, but I think the year after they'll compete for a playoff spot, and then the year after they'll probably definitely make the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? But I'm with you. I think it's gonna take a little time to build, unless, like you say, they add in a whole bunch of pieces over the off season, and you're like, well, this is the whole like a new bird team.
Yeah.
So, I do find it interesting though that he said, I want to be in the division and I'm going to try to come hunt you down to my former team. You feel me? I'm going to the last place team, you first place. I'm trying to hunt you down. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think that's going to be a very interesting division because, the Vikings also going to have questions about, do you bring Sam back? Do you go to McCarthy? Now, I think they'll bring Sam back and then let him and McCarthy basically battle it out. That's what I'm assuming. And but that's going to be interesting to see. And then the Packers, if they can just get Jordan Love to stop turning it over so much, they can be a real threat.
Yeah, they could be.
And stay healthy because he missed a lot of games too.
Yeah, they definitely missed a lot of games. And it seems like it's always at the end of the year. He just can't never seem to get right for the playoffs. Like,
yeah,
he's had some unfortunate luck.
Now, what were you about to ask me about athletes?
Just like athletes, going broke after their time playing. Cam went on a show. He was doing a Special Forces show, and he just talked about how, the money doesn't come in the same, so it makes him feel different, you know what I'm saying? How he's Superman, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, he's just a man. So it's like, how do you feel about, athletes going broke after they playing days? What do you feel like they should do? So this is a two-part question. What do you feel like they should do? And
basically to prevent it, right?
Yeah, to prevent it, you know what I'm saying? And do you think that more guys should, how should I say this? Or how do I want to word this? Okay, do you think that NFL players should have some type of retirement set up? Or do you just feel like, they should have ways to prevent money, from having money, from wasting all their money?
Okay.
Or they should just,
when you say
suck
that,
it up like that?
Do you mean that they should have, set up their own retirement fund?
Or the NFL,
like the NFL?
should have, the NFL should have like a retirement plan. Like, okay, so say if you are in the league,
that's what I was going to say.
For so long, like,
I
we'll say 10 years or, whatever.
I believe that it should be, whatever your position is and whatever the average length is. To me, if you succeed over the average length, for whatever year, you should get some form of compensation for it, like some form of retirement package. Do I think it will happen? I do not, because them billionaires ain't trying to give up no more money.
No, they don't care about the players. Right?
Correct. So I think it should happen, but I don't believe it will. So to answer your other question, their best thing for them to do is not just frivolously blow money. Be good to people that are good to you. Meaning, don't take care of people who ain't really down for you, who just trying to use you, who don't want to contribute nothing or help out in any way around, and they think you just owe them and whatever, and they not grateful, and you shouldn't keep them type people around you.
Facts.
Don't stay out the strip clubs, just blowing money, wasting money. Also, invest. Your brand is one of the most important things, because with your brand you can end up getting more money just off your name. You invest in things, get into the housing market, invest in the companies, little things like that. That way you can make sure that your money is still coming in. And it may not come in, as quick as that NFL money come in.
Thanks.
But it's at least enough for you to sustain, because at the end of the day, I get it, because every man's biggest fear is not being able to provide, especially after you able to provide too, for it to stop. Like, I get it 1,000%. Like, you don't want that to happen. Like, you want to be able to be like, my family can depend on me. If they need anything, I got them.
Facts.
So, to me, the best way to do that is to keep yourself in investments and things so that you have yourself making money. And even though that the NFL should have some form of retirement package for you, or a bigger one, they don't. So therefore, you work around it, and I'll just figure it out the other way. Excuse me. There's also other things you can do to give your children a head start as well. So I would advise them to do that. Also, make sure that when you have financial advisors and people that run your money, a lot of times that you have people checking them, that you're checking your books, so that you make sure them people aren't stealing money from you, because that's a lot of times what happens. You're not realizing you're getting so much money, and then a person take out a little bit here and there, and you don't really notice it until bam, and you like, what?
Yep, it's gone.
Yeah, and like you say, at that point, they've been taking a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there,
Yep.
and bam. So that's why you gotta always have one person doing something, somebody watching them, then somebody else watching them, you still making sure everything go right too. That way you make sure, and the people that you got watching each other don't need to know about each other. Meaning, if I got person A here, he doing it, person B gonna be watching person A, but person A ain't gonna know about person B. Person C gonna be watching person B ain't gonna know about person C. That way they can't conspire against you. Because if they all know about each other and they start working together, now they can be plotting against you.
Yeah.
So you make sure that other people don't do it, and then the last person, you make sure that you are actually over and so that you can make sure everything go right.
Make sure everything. Is there anything else you want to touch on while we got the people attention?
Let me see. I think it was something I had to ask you. Let me go in my notes. I do. I remember what it was. Your man was reading the book Inner Excellence. So my question to you, what is 3 to 5 things that you think will impact people's life the most? And what I mean by that is you can give an example, would be like reading, meditating, working out, discipline.
So these are things that help you.
Right. And
okay. Or you just talk about situations?
In general, not in the book, but just speaking on inner excellence, do you think are the most key components to reaching
be successful?
Right, to reaching that excellence?
Number one is discipline. If you don't have discipline to, away from certain things, you can't have anything,
I agree.
Regardless of whatever you have. Number two, I would say, the people you put around you. The people you put around you, I feel like have a lot of say-so in how far you go in life, the trouble you stay in or out of, and the influence you have on you is the reason why I say that. You know what I'm saying? So the people you put around you, is definitely a major part of why you're successful and how you be successful. And the last thing, the most third thing you need to be successful is you gotta have drive. You know what I'm saying? You got to, if you don't have drive, when I say drive, I mean hunger, I mean a will to do things that, and you know what I'm saying, that other people won't do. Because if you don't have that, you won't put the hours in, you won't put the work in, and that kind of ties in with discipline. Because you know what I'm saying, you gotta stay disciplined enough to do those things, and you know what I mean, go that extra mile and be hungry, and you know what I'm saying, figure it out on your own when it's times people are not gonna, you know what I mean, help you, or people can't be around to help you. You gotta have that hunger to go get it and go figure it out. So discipline, you know, you gotta stay disciplined. You gotta put the right people around you. You gotta be hungry, and if you do those three things right, you know what I'm saying, you can be successful.
You know, I think that was a perfect list, and the reason is, you kind of got back to what I was gonna say, because when you started off, you said discipline. You gotta have the discipline to don't.
Yeah.
But like you said, you also gotta have the discipline to don't and the discipline to do.
Yeah, facts.
You gotta give away certain things that you shouldn't be doing and do things that you don't feel like doing.
Yep.
Cause that's what separated.
Facts.
Then you said the second one. You said the people around you. That is another thing that's so pivotal. You have to have people around you that are trying to grow. They want to grow. That way, you both, can be helping each other. And the things that you may lack in, this other person can do.
Yep.
The things they lack in, you can do. And that's how you build a good team.
Yep.
That's why you have a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, a power forward, a center.
Yep.
That's why you got a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, O-line.
All that stuff.
You see what I'm saying? A coach. Because everybody has different things that they good at.
Yeah, everybody got different roles, and you play your role.
You do.
To a T.
People say a lot of times they come up by themselves, but it ain't really true. Most people actually that you see, most people have other good people. And when I say good people, it means good to them that are doing things for them around them. Because you typically don't have enough time to do everything by yourself. So you kind of have to have people. Then what you touched on was the drive. Because that's so important. Because too many times things don't work out our way. Or they don't go the way we want them to go. Or they're not going as fast as you want them to go.
Yep.
And you got to still put your head down and keep pushing. And realize that the only way you can lose is when you give up. Because if you ain't gave up, you ain't a loser already. You still can win.
Yep.
So you decide if you want to win or lose.
As long as you win the game, you always got a chance to win.
You see what I'm saying? And that's why I loved your 3 answers, because they spot on. You got to have the discipline, the people, and the drive.
Yep.
And then, like you said, you got to also have that discipline and drive that even if you missing the people, you still disciplined enough to do and figure out until you can either get the people or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
Because typically, you can find somebody eventually. Now, it may take some time, but you know, typically, if you're around like-minded or get around like-minded individuals, you'll end up progressing better.
Yep.
So, that's all I gotta say. You got anything else you need to say to the people or want to say before we get up out of here?
Man, play your role, man. Don't play a role that's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Your time's gonna come. It's gonna be a time for you to be a star, scoring 50, you know what I mean, averaging 40. That's your time gonna come. But sometimes you gotta be the rebound man. You gotta be the assist man. You gotta be the defensive man. You gotta be, you know what I'm saying, the guy who just, you know what I mean, give out motivation to his guys and be there for his guys. Like, your time gonna come, man. Just play your role, you know what I'm saying? But don't play a role that you know won't get you anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Don't be getting people's water bottles if they are already getting water bottles. Play a role that's for you, you know what I'm saying?
Play a role that's needed.
There you go. Facts. Play a role that's needed, man. Message of the day. Play your role. Play a role that's needed.
Look, and it's crazy because, like you say, people will be like, "You not the star player." And I'm gonna give you an example. It'll be like LeBron the star. LeBron the star. Well, Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, and all of them is living better than 95% of people. So how are they not also a star?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? It's all on how you look at things. Even though LeBron can be the star of the clique, you're still a star in your own right.
Yep. And people, and when you hear those names, they ring bells.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And they all doing different things.
Yep.
So you can do this for me. You can do this. Then by doing that, you so big now, you feeding off people.
Yep.
You got other people that's now feeding. So now we can keep extending this branch out even further.
Facts.
So now we need connections. We're a little bit into everything.
Yep.
But most people don't think like it. But that's how you build. That's how you build a dynamic squad.
You don't see Rich trying to be LeBron. You don't see Rich trying to be Maverick. You don't see LeBron trying to be Rich. You know
Exactly. You don't see LeBron not trying to give Rich and Maverick stuff. You don't see Rich talking about Maverick or LeBron. You don't see Maverick talking about Rich talking about Maverick and LeBron. However, like, you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You keep business inside business, and you feel me? We win. We progress.
You feel me?
We
Keep
succeed.
Facts.
PostWork. The biggest. My partner, the Reverend. We out.
Oh yeah. We go.